This is Josiah Plays, The Novelist. I know almost nothing about this game beyond watching the little trailer for it on Steam. This is part of my January month of playing games without combat or fighting. I don't know exactly what this is going to entail, but it should be a novel experience. Apparently it's a very short game, so I plan to just play through it all in one sitting, a single episode. So here we go. New game. Select difficulty. Stealth. The Kaplans will be able to see you, so stay out of sight, or the Kaplans won't be able to see you, so explore freely. We'll do it stealth mode. Would you like to play through a brief tutorial? It's recommended for new players. Yes, I would like to. The Novelist. Uh-oh, somebody's coming.
This is it.
Wow, look at this place.
Still can't believe the deal we got.
Where's my room?
Right up there, buddy.
W. Emerge. Look at the letter on the dining room table by pressing space. This is a really nice place. Oh my god. Right on the fucking ocean like this? With just forest right outside your... Oh man. This place must have been really expensive. Read it by pressing space. Are you a person in those? I guess I'm some kind of ghost. Mr. Kaplan, welcome to your home for the summer. We're very excited to have you. This is one of our most popular properties, and I'm sure you and your family will have a memorable visit. We have you booked through August 31st. Your security deposit has cleared, and our cleaning service freshened everything up on Saturday. You can buy groceries at McClendon's in town, and if you'd like to eat dinner out there are quite a few restaurants on Meridian Avenue, just off Fairview. If you have any questions, or if you run into any trouble at all, please don't hesitate to call. Pete Fuller, Hanniger Rentals, Sydney Bluffs, Oregon. I was thinking this looked like it was in Washington or Oregon. Okay. Look at a light fixture and press space to possess it. The Kaplans can't see you while you're possessing a light fixture. Yeah, I am some kind of ghost. An elemental firewall in their house. So possession is the safest way to explore. You can jump from one light fixture to another in order to move through the house unseen. Use possession to reach the office upstairs. Oh, I like this. That's kind of cool. Jumping from light fixture to light fixture. Oh, this is already intriguing. It's like anti-stealth. Normally in stealth, you go for shadows, right? You go from shadow to shadow. This is like the opposite of that. Instead, you go from light source to light source. Six days later.
We'll be back in a little bit.
Okay.
Your goal in each chapter is to figure out the dilemma facing Dan and decide how he should resolve the situation. Each member of the family desires a different outcome, and it's up to you to decide which path to take. If you remain undetected and learn the desires of more than one character, you can uncover compromises that will help the family. Writer's block. After a week at the house, Return to the office upstairs and look for a clue. So I can just wander around. I don't have to possess lights. But I guess I probably can't open doors and such. It's a telephone. Get some circuitry out of there. Whiskey. Wine. Fishing rods. Racin' Roger! Good old Racin' Roger. Oh, I see a clue. Where's Dudikoff, though? Where did he go? So he's trying to write a book. Dan's journal is on the desk. Read it. It's got some checkers, some Chinese checkers, some chess.
Writer's block. I can't believe I just wrote that. Writer's block. There, again. Those two words are apparently the only damn thing I can write. I don't think it's been this bad since high school. Mr. Holder's class, an essay about Faulkner. Dan Kaplan, little-known author of Tramer's Way and Windsong, has run out of steam. Closed my eyes last night and saw a literary register article about myself. That was the first line. Paul wants 3 chapters next week, and so far I've got 2,000 words so sloppy I can barely read them. I cannot blow my schedule. Paul said Grovefield's been very clear about what comes next if I keep slipping deadlines. Why did this happen as soon as we got here? This was supposed to simplify things, but so far it's been nothing but staring at a blank page. Maybe a walk will help, or a long drive, or a drink.
Is he developing a drinking problem? Okay. Each character has a number of writings or drawings to discover. You found one of Dan's. Now that you know what's troubling him, you should search the house for him to discover more about his dilemma. His dilemma seems to be he can't write. Look for Dan in the upstairs bedroom. Oh shit, there he is. When you look at a character, you can press space to see what they're thinking about. This doesn't work. Dude, this place is nice. The cloud around Dan's head indicates that he's remembering specific moments from the past. You have the ability to explore his memories to learn more about the current chapter. Approach Dan from behind and press space to enter his memory. Find time for Tommy. Just have to focus on leaving all of that back home. He's going to kill me if I don't break through. Be different than before. Just keep it together. Explore memories. Now that you've entered Dan's memory, you can explore it freely. Follow the sounds to locate different moments that are on his mind. When you find a specific moment, press space to uncover more about what's troubling Dan in this chapter. You can exit Dan's memory whenever you wish and can return to it any time by approaching him from behind and pressing space. Follow the sound to discover memories. But I can't necessarily do anything with... Oh wait, I can. Uncover memory.
Do you think coming here will help? Do you think coming here will help?
It has to.
Do you think coming here will help?
It has to.
I want to uncover this... space to read.
Tommy rode into town with me today. He saw some kids his age playing on the swings at the park, and I could tell he wanted to go play with them. It got me thinking, did we swing the pendulum too far just to get him away from those bullies? Kids can bounce back quick sometimes. What if this is the worst thing we could have done? Then he asked how Daddy's book was going, and without even thinking, I said, "Great, my man." Felt awful right away. It's a white lie, sure, but why not be honest? When he was younger, he was just a bundle of physical needs, but now he's like a mental, emotional sponge. He's around Linda and me all the time, and I can see him changing every day in 1,000 small ways. That scares the hell out of me. What am I teaching him with a white lie?
You're teaching him to lie. Good job. You found all the moments in this character's memory. You can come back and re-examine them at any time, or you can exit and explore other characters' memories.
Dan, we're back!
Hi, Mom.
Now that Linda and Tommy are home, you should look for their clues and discover what's on their minds and explore their memories. Remember to stay out of their sight and use possession to keep from alerting the Kaplans. If you remain undetected, you can earn additional opportunities to influence their story.
Hey, honey.
And write my way back into this thing. To make sure no one here bullies Tommy. Just keep it together.
Check this out, Mommy.
Having fun?
This is such a stalker simulator.
Hey, buddy.
Hey.
Maybe we can play later.
Here we go.
Can I shut a door? Can't shut a door.
Barb, how are things? Is school still taking up all of your time, or is anything new going on? We've been up here for a week or so, and I can already tell it's going to be great for painting. There are hardly any distractions, and this house has a room they called the conservatory in the brochure, which really just means it has a lot of windows. Whatever they call it, it's a great space for working. The second floor blocks most of the northern light, but I'll manage. I took Tommy down to the beach today, and you should have seen how excited he was. I wish I'd brought my camera. He kept looking back up at the house like he couldn't believe it was so small from down there. He seems to have taken to this place really well so far, which is such a load off our minds. We didn't know what to expect, but so far, so good. Anyway, let me know how things are going. Yours, Linda.
Barb, huh? You can always press tab to see your progress and find out what you need to do to move forward. You can press escape to view the help screen or adjust options. Okay. Search for more clues. Search the horse house of memory. Okay.
Hey.
Ideas. Alice listens in on the phone call. Problem. Ruins sympathy for Alice. Solvable? Probably not. Too cheap and easy. Scene at the lake. Alice sees them there. Could definitely work. Comeuppance for Scott. Alice stays innocent. Sarah sees who Scott really is. Yeah, I think that works. You've discovered enough about this character to find out how they want to resolve this chapter. Read their thoughts to learn how you can help them. While possessing a light fixture, you can use E to make the light flicker. This will cause nearby characters to investigate the light. Oh, it's a distraction. You can lure them away from areas you wish to explore. Oh, this is cool. This has some good stealth game mechanics, honestly.
Hey, Mommy.
Hey, Pumpkin.
I hope this works.
Writer's block. I can't believe I just wrote that.
No.
It's the kids' room. But apparently there's no writings or anything in here. Alright, we're gonna check this kid's memories here in a second.
Hey.
I'm faster.
Where's my notebook? Choose this character's outcome, find the object in blue text and select it. Okay. Well, we found his notebook already.
Can't beat me.
Wish I could help Daddy. Ah, there's a drawing on the wall over there. Gonna win this time. He wants to help him. Progress is saved automatically. Okay.
Hey, Mommy.
Hey, honey.
Daddy said he'd be my buddy here.
Good. All right.
Okay, where's the kid? Something right here. Pick up more canvases. Art store anywhere in town? Galleries or studios? So she wants to pursue her painting. Anything in the kitchen?
Oh.
Alright, is the kid in here? Because I want to read his thoughts.
It broke again.
Yeah, we could do that.
That doesn't happen at home.
No, I think what I need to do is flicker this light
What's wrong with that thing?
so that I can stealth kill this kid. I mean, explore his memories. He and Dad hanging out.
We'll have to find out.
Are there any other kids?
Kid's interested
Are there
in...
any other kids?
We'll have to find out.
Why'd it do that?
So he wants to help his dad write, but he also wants to have other kids to play with. Alright, where's...
Oh, yeah, maybe if I...
Linda? Oh, here she is, in the conservatory.
Set up in the studio.
So wrapped up in his book. She just wants one night to spend. So much time to paint. We've got a couple of things we can look at in here. Once she leaves. Still make it work. The kid and the dad playing a game.
Oh. Look!
God damn it! You've been spotted. You should get away as soon as possible by moving to an area where no one can see you. You cannot possess lights when a character can see you, but once you get out of sight, you can use possession to remain unseen.
It moved!
Well, I already lost the game, you guys.
Told you I'd find you. It moved!
Well, fuck it. Let's just see what happens.
I'm gonna get you. Told you I'd find you. Who are you?
He's spooked.
Here we go.
Can I save at any time? Because I'm fucking up. Is there a quick save?
Hey, check this out.
Save and quit. Alright. I already fucked this up, you guys.
Hey, honey, what you doing?
Racing. Meow. Vroom, vroom.
Barb, how are things?
Vroom, vroom.
Mr. and Mrs. Kaplan, I hope this reaches you before you leave for the summer. I know we went over this in my office, but I think Tommy is a wonderful child, and I'll feel better putting my recommendation in writing. Children develop at different speeds, and Tommy shows no signs of a serious learning disorder, so the most important thing is to be patient and supportive. Make sure he does his reading exercises each day in a calm, loving environment. Make sure not to show disappointment when he struggles, which he will at first. Show encouragement when he succeeds, as self-confidence is critical at this age. If he fails to make progress with the exercises I've included, you may want to take him to the local pediatrician for further recommendations. I hope this is of some help. I look forward to seeing Tommy this September. Mrs. Macmillan. So was he having trouble in school?
Hey, honey, what you doing?
Racing.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, you know. Hey, bud.
Hey. Here we go. Blast off.
Huh. Hey, honey, what you doing?
Blasting off.
Get out of here, kid.
It broke again.
Hey there.
Hey.
I gotta mean his memories again because I fucked it up the last time.
Are there any other kids?
We'll have to find out.
They're not looking super happy in that picture.
No, I said something.
Why'd it do that? Meow.
Can you kick rocks, kid?
Can't beat me.
Oh, hey, not much.
So much time to paint.
Maybe.
Gonna memory jacker.
I think we've done a good job of putting on happy faces for Tommy. If he knows there's something wrong, he's not showing it. We told him this is just a fun family vacation, and he seems to like it here so far. But this might be it for Dan and me. Neither one of us has said the word yet, but I know it's right there under the surface. We've been dancing around it. I can't even bring myself to write the word here. Writing it would be almost
Divorce.
as bad as saying it, because once it's there, it becomes real, a thing we have to deal with. I'm not ready for that yet. We agreed to make this a fresh start. I meant it, I think he did too. Now we just have to treat each day like a new beginning.
New beginning day.
Me too.
I promise.
Me too.
So they're having trouble in their marriage. Bottle of wine. Oh, she wants to get smashed. He wants to play a game.
It's such a crazy thought, the three of us all alone in this house all summer. I never thought we could afford a place like this, but the price surprised us both when we saw it. I wonder if there's something wrong with it. Maybe it has a raccoon problem or a toilet that backs up. Guess we'll find out soon enough. Oh, and I'm painting again. I got set up today. I felt a buzz right away. So much time to work. I haven't had a space like this in forever, probably since I left the studio. I went straight into a new piece today, got lost, looked up to see it was 2 hours later. I think this new one has promise, though I still have some rust to shake off. Speaking of which, I'm going to go check on Dan and see if his new office is doing anything for him. He's pretty frustrated, but he has to figure something out soon, or this place won't be any different than home.
Dan's professional issues
how's
are
it
what's
going?
causing problems in the marriage, presumably.
Get back to them.
Is there anything else over here that I can mess with? No? He wants to play Racing Roger!
Want to grab a bite later?
Yeah, let's do.
Different than before.
Oh, come on.
Do you think coming here will help?
It has to. Tommy rode into town with me today. He saw some kids his age playing on the swing.
Teaching him a white lie.
I'm thinking of the
It broke again. That doesn't happen at home.
This is a very interesting gameplay. I need to read his thing.
Writer's block. I can't believe I just...
So, I've got all the information. He had a good idea. He wants to play with his dad. She wants to have a bottle of wine and hang out. So now I've got to try to find a compromise.
That might work.
Barb, how are things? Is school still taking...
Selecting the notebook will choose Dan's resolution for this chapter. Linda and Tommy will be disappointed. However, if you've discovered Linda or Tommy's desired outcome and haven't spooked them, you'll be able to find a compromise with one of them in the next chapter. Ah. So I do have to choose... I do have to choose one of them, but I can get a compromise next chapter. Well, I choose wine. I choose you, bottle of wine. How far in are we? Not very far. We're in the first chapter. And we've been reading people's thoughts. There's the bottle of wine right there, I think. Just want to make sure I'm not about to get caught. I don't see any. Oh, there's the
Hey,
kid.
Mommy.
You're not going to play Racing Roger today. Mommy and Daddy got to get drunk.
How's it going?
Alright.
Don't sit right there. Alright, the kids... He ain't gonna see shit from here. Bottle of wine, go! Yep, we know. Let's do it. What'd you get, Splode? Press tab to view available compromises. Explore the house, then whisper your choice to Dan. You may also find a compromise with an additional character if you wish. Ah, okay. Am I in ghost mode right now where I don't have to worry about being detected? Maybe they're asleep. Is this sleepy time mode? From the desk of Harold Baxter, January 15th, 1948. Mr. Lowry finally gave in and agreed to let me inspect the house. I believe he simply grew tired of hearing me ask, although I think deep down he knows I'm correct. A property like this simply doesn't change hands every year or two without a reason. I noticed the pattern when I was cleaning out old files and this house kept coming up. It's changed owners 7 times in the last 13 years. Oh, it's a haunted house. That's why I'm a ghost. That's why they got the house so cheap. It's a haunted house, you guys. This is a game about maintaining closet alcoholism away from your kids. Yeah, basically. Got a falafel from this bomb little liquor store. That sounds great. I'd love to have a falafel. Began digging, and not a single one of the sales was financially motivated. People just seemed to keep deciding they'd rather live somewhere else, which doesn't add up in my mind. The view is striking. The isolation and privacy alone make it a great property. The remoteness can't be an issue. Certainly no one who can afford this kind of home needs to work for money. It's a mystery, but that's why I'm here. It's a haunted house. And I'm the ghost. I'm playing as a Poultrygeist, Nox. The Poultrygeist. So I selected the bottle of wine, but I could also apparently compromise with the board game or the... Oh yeah, see, they're in sleepy mode. From the desk of Harold Baxter, January 16th, 1948. Standing in the kitchen, drinking coffee and admiring the view, I simply don't understand it. Who wouldn't want to see this every morning? That appears to be the great question of 451 Timberline Road. I slept very well last night. It's a good thing the previous owners left the house furnished. It was just about as quiet as anywhere I've ever been. The only sounds today are the ocean and a few birds. After I finish breakfast, I plan to begin my inspection. Later. I was inspecting the upstairs walkway to make sure the railing was sturdy when I saw something odd downstairs. I'm not certain I can describe what it was, and I've already talked myself halfway out of thinking it was anything at all. It was probably just a trick of the light coming through those big windows. A trick of the light. Or a ghost. So do we want to compromise with... So he's going to have wine with his wife, but do we want to have compromise... with what his son wants, or with what he wants, with the whole working on his book? I feel like the biggest problem in their marriage right now is the fact that he's having professional problems, and so if he's got a good idea to continue his book and break his writer's block, he should probably do it. I mean, neglecting a kid is, neglecting a kid and all, but honestly, the kid doesn't seem to be the biggest issue right now, so we're not going to distract him with playing Racing Roger right now when he's supposed to be working on his book and drinking with his wife. So we're gonna compromise with the notebook, if I can remember where the notebook was. Right here. You can select one compromise per chapter. Alright, this is going to be Dan's compromise. Now what happens? Oh, it said something about whisper in his ear what my decision was? The next night, Dan surprised Linda by grabbing a bottle of wine and asking her if she wanted to drink it and catch up after they got Tommy into bed. They put on their favorite Miles Tanner record and cuddle on the couch, laughing and catching up on things before stumbling to bed. The summer was off to a good start for them. Dan spent the next few days forcing his way through scenes he knew weren't good enough just to hit his deadline, but the day before sending the work out, a thought came to him from nowhere, telling him to check behind the bedroom desk for his notebook. Though he didn't have a chance to rewrite everything, he did have time to type an outline and include it with the package, which smoothed things over with his agent. Tommy was sad because Dan's mind was elsewhere when Tommy tried to get his dad to play Racing Roger with him. Linda found Tommy trying to play the game by himself after dinner. She sat down and played a few games with him to cheer him up, but she could tell he had really wanted to play with Dan. Look, you guys... I have a feeling this is going to be a neglect the child playthrough. The show. This is the next chapter, I guess. Linda got a letter in the mail. Only the strong survive. Alright, let's make sure we're not going to get caught here before I start examining shit. Where is everybody? There's the kid. The kid who's not happy. Can you save the game in case of being caught? All I have is save and quit. If I click that, it literally ends the game. Like it closes the program completely. So... Trying to relaunch it. Now it's showing not at the correct resolution. No, fuck 16 by 9. Why do you keep doing that? Story so far. 1. When the captains arrived and Dan was struggling with writer's block, he put his book aside for one night to have a bottle of wine and relax with his wife, but also found his notebook in time to send Paul an outline. 2. When Linda put on an art show and asked for Dan's help with publicity, spoiler alert. Like, if I fuck it up, I don't know if I can go back to the beginning of a chapter.
If I...
Continue new game options, help, credits. Gotta move faster. He has to learn about grown-up problems at some point. Maybe if I skip dinner.
Is it time?
Work straight through till Monday. I can see how hard you're working. New day, I can write my way back into this thing. Should make her breakfast in bed. Or just sit on the couch is another option.
Come on. Really?
Going into his memories.
Just mailed the package to Paul and I might have dodged the bullet. I was most of the way through writing some pretty embarrassing stuff. Alice eavesdropping on a phone call to give one particularly ugly example. When I decided to look for my notebook one more time. Maybe it was desperation, but something just told me to try it. I lucked out and found it this time and almost sprinted back to the office to see how much I could repair. I didn't have time to rework it all, but I sent Paul a good outline with the chapters I did have. I hope it works.
Oh, she's drawing a bird in a cage. She's painting a bird in a cage.
Hey, what's wrong?
That's it? That's the whole memory? That's all we get to work with? Is, hey, what's wrong, sigh?
Hey, what's wrong?
I'll take another look later.
Hey, Dad.
Hey, bud.
Oh, there's so much to do.
Why didn't Daddy play Racing Roger
Hey,
with me?
honey.
He doesn't
How's it
love you,
going?
that's why.
Good.
He doesn't love you.
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, really good. Thanks for asking.
Gotta figure something out.
That kid is going to be smoking reefer and making crazy paintings by the end of this for sure. Dudes, you're not wrong. Come on, don't sit there. Now let's go upstairs and stalk the kid. Who's presumably in his room, which is over here. Where you at, kid? Where is he? There he is.
Ooh,
Flicker
it's
this
messed
light.
up.
Go to this light. Get him. Get him! He's too busy wandering around the house to play Racing Roger. There he is drawing that again. Two of them looking super happy.
Right down there.
Cool, can we go?
Right down there.
Cool, can we go?
He wants to spend time with his dad. Also missing
I
something.
think it broke
apparently.
again.
Alright, get out of
And
here,
it
kid.
goes like... Maybe like...
Oh, yeah, maybe it's like...
Alright. Fucking roll it up, Picasso. That's... We got shit, thank you. We got shit to do in your room. This note good for one adventure. Signed, Daddy. Oh. He wants to go to the beach. He wants to have an adventure to the beach.
What?
What's going on in here?
Paul. Hey man, if I'd known my letter would set you off like that, I wouldn't have written. My fault. Let's both just calm down. I see now that it was stupid to ask if you knew any art agents. That's like you asking me if I know any professional sculptors. Dumb question, point taken. But believe me, no one's more worried about the schedule than I am. I think about it every day. I can't get away from it. Most nights I start thinking about it and can't stop. My heart starts beating out of control and I have to get up and try to work just to calm down. I'm not slacking off, man. I shouldn't have made you think I was focused on anything else. I'll get everything sorted out. Seriously, Dan.
He's really stressed about his whole work situation.
Hey, sweetie.
Hi.
Really stressed. In arts and entertainment news, the Westlake Gallery has announced a show by visiting artist Linda Kaplan. A resident of Laurenton, Mrs. Kaplan is visiting the coast with her family and has completed a new series she describes as an expression of restrained emotion, using society's imposition on nature as a lens. Details of the show will be forthcoming. Local art enthusiasts will be doubly pleased to learn that the community center will be No One Gives a Fuck.
Hey, Mommy. Hey, Pumpkin.
Alright, he wants to take his bucket to the beach with Daddy. Got news for you, kid. I ain't picking your bucket. I don't really give a shit about this kid.
I think maybe it's time.
I kind of want to find out what happens if you completely destroy this child by making sure his parents completely neglect him. Need more clues for Dan. There's something on the table right here. Let's go for it. Mrs. Kaplan, we're thrilled to be exhibiting your work Thursday. I know this all came together a little last minute, but our secretary is only part-time and she sometimes gets behind. I've sent along some forms and samples for the ad we plan to run in this week's paper. I know it's probably the last thing you want to worry about right now, but what's the point of putting on a show if no one knows about it? Anyhow, I know this is all a bit hectic, but while we might be small, we have a lot of heart, and we're very excited about your show. Nicole Adams, Westlake Gallery. They're very excited about her show.
Big news, Barb. I'm putting on a show. Can you believe it? I've already got butterflies. It's been so long. I'm glad it's a small gallery so I can ease my way back into things a bit. And I want to do it right. I'd forgotten how much work goes into things that aren't painting when it's time to put on a gallery. You know I could never stand all the logistical rigmarole. Plus I have a piece I really want to finish before the show. So much to do. I want to take it seriously and go through the whole process though, because if the show goes well, who knows? Hope to hear from you, and hope you can come, of course. Yours always, Linda.
Just like Pirate Pete, if you went to the beach with your bucket. Guess what, kid? Put that shit on your bucket list, because it ain't happening in this life.
Hey, honey.
Hey, Mommy.
I think I need to read her memories still. But now everybody's all gathered in here, being a pain in my ass. Oh, there's a note right there.
Hey, sweetie.
Does everybody just have to congregate in this room?
Hey, watch this.
Shit!
Ooh, nicely done.
I didn't know the kid was in here. Go for the stealth kill.
What is it, Mommy?
I don't know yet, honey.
What do you mean you don't know yet? It's very clearly a bird in a cage! What? I don't know, I'm just creating random shapes. It could be anything. Oh, there's the bucket.
I don't know yet, honey.
What is it, Mommy?
I don't know yet, honey. Are you kidding me? This house is old.
Yay, let's go to the beach. Isn't that great? Paul called again. Are you going to call him back, Lynn? Okay, I'm missing something here. I need more clues for Dan and Linda. Are there any more? Oh, there's another clue in here. Whatever's in there, over there. Don't stand by the window. It's a rat painting. A wrap your senses in illusion, then it'll sell your art.
Oh yeah, maybe if I...
No, maybe if you leave the room. How does that sound? Because he doesn't love you. Don't go in the painting room. Oh.
Hey, hon, what you doing?
Well, there's nobody upstairs. So the question is there anything in here? I didn't. Oh. The Literary Register, May edition. Inside, the Books of Summer, Adam Squeer's The Interview, America's top small-run publishers.
It just never stops. Every time I plot something I think will hold together, it falls to pieces. This thing was supposed to be done months ago, but the further I get, the harder it is to make it all work. Nothing's ever as simple as it seems at first. I'll think about a problem for days, finally come up with a fix, and then realize it breaks something somewhere else. I can barely hold all the threads together. Sometimes this thing just feels too big for me and I want to burn it and walk away. But what else would I do? And the deadlines don't help either. I can't think harder or faster. This stuff comes when it comes, and getting stressed out about it just makes it harder to get the words down. Like right now, I'm writing about the thing instead of working on the thing.
That sounds like me.
Damn it, Dan, get to work.
God damn it, Dan. Lazy fucking writers. Where you at, Dan?
Painting coming along?
Yeah, really good, thanks.
He just wants to chain himself to the typewriter. She wants to do the art thing. I need to read... Oh, she's no longer in her little art room. Which I forgot how to get to now. Okay, there. He just left the conservatory as well. So now's my chance to check this out.
Has it been 5 years already? I still remember the thought that blindsided me when I saw Tommy for the first time. He's my new creative work. TJ gave me such a look when I told her I was going to cut back on my painting, but she doesn't have any kids, so there's no way she could understand. It's hard to top creating an entire person. Maybe she thought Dan told me I had to stay home. That would have been a very short conversation. Still, I can't ignore the fact that it's time to figure out what on hold means. What would it look like to go back full-time? Do I want to?
She wants to.
Hi, Mom.
She wants to paint. Dan could take care of the promo forms on the coffee table. Okay. So she wants him to do her shit for her.
Then it goes like...
He wants Dan to go down to the beach with him. This wife and kid don't even know what a bird is. You're the kid in the name of Pirate Pete. So, Dan either goes to the beach with his son, he helps out his wife with her ambitions, or he works on his own fucking book. Like he's supposed to do.
Dad.
Well, guess what, kid? You're getting the short end of the stick again. Now, there's probably a lot of ways you can go through this game for different endings, depending on if you try to balance things out or if you always favor one person over another, or depending on what compromises you make, but I'm not going to necessarily try to go for the best ending. In fact, I kind of want to fuck these people up. I guess you could probably seriously dick move it by always just focusing on Dan doing his work and completely ignore the family and have their marriage and family completely fall apart. Or you could just go for like Dad of the Year and just always do what the kid wants, but then the marriage probably falls apart. I don't know. You know? No, Dan, don't come over here. Okay, good. He's got his back turned. Select the promo forms. This will choose Linda's resolution. Dan and Tommy will be disappointed. However, I can find a compromise with one of them in the next chapter. Now it's super nighttime. Typewriter or bucket? Well, guess what, kid? Live with disappointment. It ain't gonna be the bucket. Your parents' careers are more important than you. For the desk of Harold Baxter, January 17th, 1948. I'm now certain there's something strange with the light here. It must be those windows. I was reviewing old deeds in the living area and saw some sort of flash of light out of the corner of my eye. I would assume the elevation would put the ocean too far away for the sun to reflect off a wave, but perhaps not. I looked, but there was nothing there except a strange shimmer, like heat above the asphalt of a hot road. It dissipated almost immediately. Perhaps some concentration of the light caused it. But on to work. I've begun cataloging possible options for the property. I owe Mr. Lowry a report by the 24th. So at night times, in between chapters, we get to learn the story of the haunted house by reading the little diaries of this, you know, real estate agent or whatever he is. I don't know what it is. They don't even know what a bird is. This explode. Right? I mean, right? From the desk of Harold Baxter, January 19th, 1948. I failed to log my activities yesterday as nothing of note occurred. There have been no tricks of the light for 2 days, and I've grown certain that the ones I saw were reflections from the ocean improbably reaching the house. I've been able to focus on the task at hand and am suitably pleased with the condition of the property. I've also reached a decision on how to proceed. It came to me this morning as I stood in the conservatory admiring the beauty of the forest. I hadn't begun my work yet, and was thinking of nothing in particular, when an idea came into my head fully formed. I was surprised that it appeared with such clarity, but it's not unheard of for the mind to ponder a question in the subconscious. As for the idea, it is quite simple. I will buy the house myself. The ghost made him do it. Wonder if there's an option to completely terrify everyone so the ghosts get the haunted house all themselves? Well, it kind of resets you if you actually terrify someone, so I don't know. Boy, guess who gets to make a sandcastle? Some other son's kid. Some other dude's kid, not you. I'm just gonna be completely cruel to the child. Because, honestly, I'm an asshole. What do you want from me? Thinking about some frames. Them frames. Alright, Dan. Oh wait, I didn't select a compromise. The compromise is he gets the fuck to work. The art show was a huge opportunity for Linda, so after getting an earful from Paul, Dan spent Saturday working on an announcement ad for the local paper. He called every writer he knew to ask if their agents knew anyone in the art world, and on the fourth call he got lucky. The effort paid off. The show was a hit. Dan knew he couldn't deliver a finished chapter on time, but he decided that sending a rough draft would be better than sending nothing at all. He called Paul to warn him about the state of the work. Paul understood. He even thanked Dan for his honesty, and though the chapter was in its early stages, Paul saw enough promise to keep the publisher at bay a little longer. Tommy killed himself. Tommy spent Saturday playing by the window, looking out at the beach and wishing his dad wasn't so busy doing grown-up things. He tried to use the shovel that came with his bucket as a jump for his cars, but it was too light and kept sliding out of the way. It was weeks before he played with his bucket again. One of the outcomes of this game is you get reported to the ACF to make sure you cannot adopt a child. Catching up.
Wish there was some way.
When Tommy continued to struggle with... These people leave a lot of fucking, like, handwritten writings around their home all the time. I don't have all kinds of... Oh, maybe I do.
Barb, sorry it's been so long since I've written. Things have been hectic around here, and I'm trying to figure out a way to get things back on track. I don't really want to get into it, but we're getting pulled in a lot of different directions right now. Nothing hurtful, just competing priorities, I guess. Although those can get worse and worse over time. I mean, Dan and I, before we got up here, you know we'd started to drift. Look at that. I said I didn't want to get into it, and I did anyway. Enough about me. Please tell me you're doing well, and I hope this doesn't stress you out too much. I promise to write a happier letter soon. Yours always, Linda.
Look, it's the bucket, just to remind you of how you failed Tommy. Here's the problem. Now, I don't know how interesting this is going to get, but I really like the mechanics of this game a lot. Like how it works, the premise of the gameplay and what you're doing. It's just the story seems so fucking quotidian. You know what I'm saying? It's almost as quotidian as Crushing You Will. Mr. and Mrs. Kaplan, I want to stress that it's perfectly normal for some children to fall behind in a specific area. Tommy may be struggling with reading comprehension, but his verbal and visual abilities are excellent. That said, he won't catch up on his own. He will need support from both of you. I think he's fucked. Tommy ends up going to jail. I recommend that you do the attached exercises with Tommy every weekday morning for 1 to 2 hours. He'll be unable to focus exclusively on these for 2 straight hours, so you'll need to take intermittent breaks. But use your judgment and stay with it as long as you feel he can stay engaged. Crushing the kid's will is quotidian. I suggest that you do your lessons in the morning before he tires himself out and becomes distracted. I feel confident that with a supportive environment and dedicated exercise, he will catch up to the other children in his class. Please be in touch if you have any questions. Dr. Donald Samuels. Put some ice and wine in that bucket of his and put it to use. Explode! I got something you can do with your bucket. What is it? Big ass jug. Uh-oh, shit. We can make time. Book is our tick for Tahoe in September, just the two of us. I live by Tahoe.
Oh.
To make room for what matters. New day, I can write my way back into this thing. Seems so reasonable. Can't get it.
What's wrong, Daddy?
Don't worry about it.
We can make time. Promised I would be quieter next time. Stevie and Kevin get it. Because Stevie and Kevin's parents love them. Keep telling Tommy inside voices. He keeps not listening. So he's making too much damn noise for Dad to get his work done. So lucky to have someone like her. Why did Daddy break his promise about the beach? Because he doesn't love you. The sounds work in my head. I'm sorry you have a learning disability and that your parents don't love you. Maybe if I just... Sounds work in my head. She's getting to work. Well, the cage is coming along. What is it? What is it?
We barely talked yesterday.
Wow, you're right. I guess we've just been so busy.
Oh my God. We just got home and wow. Now I wish we'd had a bigger gallery. It was packed. But I guess it's like a bar. Being loud and crowded just makes people think it's cooler. What an experience. So many people said that the promo in the paper caught their eye and stood out from the usual notices. And I've got a call with the agent Dan found scheduled on Tuesday. I don't know how I'll feel in the morning, other than hungover, but right now, I want that rush again.
Basically, we gave her that success. Like doing the promo stuff. Man, a lot of wine bottles around in this place. Maybe what people need to do is deal with their substance abuse problems. Alright, so...
Wow, you're right. I guess we've just been so busy.
Have to make room for what matters. Now the kid's gonna come tromping in here. Where are you, you little shit? Quick.
Dan and I had a good conversation today. Well, we'll have to wait and see if it was actually good, but I feel like I got my point across about family time. We've been getting a little frayed on the little things lately, and it reminded me of something Anne said one time. Love is a behavior, not an emotion. If something's important to you, you show it with your actions. We weren't doing so well with that before we got here. I told Dan my idea. I want us all to eat together at 7 every night, with family time after that. Tommy's wiped out by 8:30, so we'd get a solid hour and a half as a family, and then Dan and I could have the rest of the night to ourselves. And I think 7's a reasonable request. The rest of the working world knocks off at 5, right? It doesn't really matter what we do with the time, just that we spend it together. It's easy to make excuses when you've got a lot going on, which is why patterns help. I hope he feels the same way.
It's a terrible idea. Ideas. Weekly outing? Where? Tuesday movie night? Check channel guide or movie going to town. Family dinner. Too old-fashioned? Picnic. Farmer's market. Visiting artist Linda Kaplan's show this week was the talk of the local art world. Hosted at the Westlake Gallery, the collection on display was striking. The artist, joined by her husband and son, was on hand to discuss her work with guests who filled the room nearly to capacity. Unlike other recent shows, this one... So now she wants to have family night.
Dan and I had a good conversation today.
Promised you would be quieter next time.
Hey, Mommy.
I'm sorry. Hi, honey. How you doing?
She wants them to have dinner around the table. Which...
Barb, sorry it's been so long since I've written.
I want to do it somewhere.
I'm in her memories. Farmer's market. Knox likes that idea. He's still drawing the sad fucking picture of him with his dad. I mean, man, those two, their relationship is really falling to shit.
Honey, listen to me. You are smart.
No, parents lie to their kids about their capabilities all the time, and I think they're doing them a real disservice. If your kids suck at something, you should tell them they suck at it, so they don't get false expectations. Be like, honey, let's figure out a thing that you are good at, and we can hyper-focus you on that, so you can become excellent, instead of wasting your time trying to do a thing that you're genetically and or environmentally not predisposed to ever be able to do well. This is why I'm not a parent.
Will it make me smarter?
Alright, exit memory. Stevie and Kevin get it. Yeah, Stevie and Kevin have an IQ over 80. Josiah's Kids Show.
Figure something out.
Does that...
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have snapped. I just...
Whoa.
So he's just randomly yelling at his wife because he's stressed at his own fucking ineptitude.
I think the rough draft was just enough to keep Paul off me a little longer. I hated sending it to him like that, but it was way better than sending nothing. At least I can prove I was working, that things are moving forward. He seemed to like the ideas that were there, though of course he had a lot of feedback. Fair enough. It was a rough draft, and I can't imagine the hell I would have caught if I'd sent him an empty envelope.
How the fuck did he not see me?
Fine.
Can't
all right.
just keep starting and stopping.
Time. This would all be easier if I didn't ever have to sleep. Last night after Linda went to bed, I spent some time, there's that word again, trying to make everything fit. I even drew up a little chart. The math is simple. It doesn't work. Technically, I could still get in 8 hours, assuming I don't eat or need to do anything that's not writing. But what about letters, reading, dealing with Paul? Hell, what about doing the dishes or taking out the trash? Not to mention that knocking off for the day isn't like flipping off a switch. It takes time to crawl out of my head and start functioning like a normal person again. And I can't just split it up into smaller chunks. Sometimes it takes an hour of false starts just to get going on anything usable, and stopping just sends the whole process right back to square one. Something's got to give.
I mean, you got 24 hours in a day, bruh. If you're gonna sleep 8 and write 8, you still got 8 more hours to fuck around with everything else. What the problem is, bro, is you're wasting too much time faffing about. I know a little something about that. You can't draw, you're too loud, and your future aspirations are to be a pirate. And you don't know what a bird is. Sorry, son, not looking good for you. Right? Maybe if I just... Maybe if you just stopped being bad. Lonnie learns letters, age 4 through 6, 12 chapters of reading comprehension exercises. Oh. Our remedial ass fucking kid. Who doesn't know how to learn or whatever. Not the kid's fault, but still.
Alan, this letter might come from out of the blue, but do you remember when you told me about Bobby falling behind on reading? Looks like we're there with Tommy. We knew he was struggling when we came up here, but his teacher gave us a list of books for him to work on over the break and said we should see how he responded to the change in environment. She gave us a few sample readings and told us to keep an eye on how he was grasping the concepts. Tommy still isn't there, and long story short, the pediatrician in town knows a specialist who gave us some exercises to try. They seem pretty straightforward, but I wanted to write and see if you had any tips that helped you guys with Bobby. Damn. Just realized I didn't even ask how you've been. I'm sorry. This stuff is just a lot to think about. Dan.
Okay, there's the literary register again. Perfect schedule, aka the single unattached writer's guide. 1 to 2, write. 2 to 3, eat and step away. 3 to 7, write. 7 to eat. 8, eat. 8 to 10. Man, this guy spends a lot of time eating. Decompress and edit and life. 8 to 10. 10 to 2. And then what? You sleep for 12 hours? Wrenches. Tommy till 11. Knock off at 7. Need more clues for Tommy. Seems pretty clear what's going on with Tommy. I mean,
It's so important.
you can't get it. Look, remember when your mommy said you were smart? The problem you're facing is that she lied to you. You're not smart, Tommy. You're not smart. Sounds work in his head. No, he could be smart. I mean, if he's just like dyslexic or has some sort of learning disability that has nothing to do with his intelligence, he may in fact be smart. He won't be for long if we keep neglecting him, though. Well, he just materialized paper and crayons out of thin air, so I guess he's a fucking wizard. Oh, the other kid's bullying him, laughing at him, and he's like not feeling good about it. Man said to do the Lonnie book every morning. Okay, so she wants evening family time. Not a big fan of that book. Or books in general. He wants to do the thing so that he can get smarter and learn how to, you know, read and shit. Don't disturb me. So he wants to just be left the fuck alone so he can do his job that he's not that great at, honestly. She wants family dinner night. Alright. What do we decide here? What do we decide? Family dinner night? I don't see that benefiting anyone. Him working? Pretty good idea. The kid? Whatever. Maybe instead of wasting time with this reading skills book, we put him in touch with a mechanic. He can start learning a trade. Let's get him into an apprenticeship. You know what I'm saying? Don't put lipstick on a pig. If your kid can't read, don't bother with reading. All he needs to know how to read is lists of auto parts.
Hey.
Hi.
I don't know what to pick this time.
Hi.
I guess we'll go with family dinner. Sam, Stevie, and Kevin. The desk of Harold Baxter, January 22nd, 1948. A final entry before I depart. The bank would no doubt prevent me from purchasing the house due to the inherent conflict of interest. But given its history of frequent ownership changes, I feel confident the mortgage department will be glad to have the property off their hands. I believe I can set up a trust, or perhaps a shell company, and convince Mr. Lowry that we must part with the property for less than market value. I feel certain I can appeal to his conservative nature. I believe it will prove to be a shrewd investment as a rental property, and I think I now understand why people do not stay for extended periods. I find myself unable to describe the feeling precisely, but in my time here I have found my mind drifting in strange ways, as if it was not always my own. But the natural beauty is undeniable. Perhaps shorter visits are a wiser use of the property. Yes, I believe that is a fine idea indeed. So they basically turn it into a timeshare? I think they basically turned it into a timeshare. Wonder if table and office compromise is different than office and table compromise and so on. Yeah, it's a good question. Laugh at me? Probably. Maybe what we need to do is get this kid a wrench in his hand and get him into some taekwondo. You know? Teach him to fucking fix cars and fight. Fuck it. You don't need to know how to read if you can do those things. Best parent of all time. He needs to bulk up. Get the damn gains. How about option 4? Pick up some creatine powder for Tommy. Creatine for kids. Let's grab a medicine ball. Start throwing that bad boy around. Choose Tommy's no. We're not choosing Tommy's compromise. Hope Tommy can catch up. Find the time. The Diary of Claire Bradford, September 4th, 1961. We're here, so why don't I feel more excited? This was supposed to be fun, just Roger and me. Fucking Roger. Mom and Dad think we're here with Ben and Lori, but of course that was just a trick. Nope, just Roger and me in this big house by the ocean for the whole week. I'm sad to see that there's no piano here, but I suppose a week without practice won't do me too much harm. I guess maybe being alone with Roger that long is what's making me feel nervous. Though why should that be? He's my fiancé, after all. If I'm supposed to spend the rest of my life with him, shouldn't I be worried about spending the week with him? I shouldn't be worried about spending the week with him, should I? Everyone has second thoughts before they get married, right? Back to how things were. Need time to start up. Missed this chance to figure it out. Good to have some quiet. A way to wiggle it just a bit? What, is this getting scandalous? Just to wiggle it. I'm about to ask. Used to be able to. Alright. Get to work, motherfucker. Oh, it's closed the door, right? Okay. Maybe it's this door. Yeah. Now I gotta go whisper, whisper in his sleeping little ear. Used to be able to wiggle it. Linda was glad when Dan committed to family dinners each night, and she made sure to give Tommy extra help in the mornings. Being able to count on quality family time every night, and knowing she and Dan would have dedicated time together, gave their relationship a sense of stability that helped them face other challenges. See, I made the right choice. Dan reached a compromise with his family. He would make room in his schedule during the day, but when his office doors were closed, he wasn't to be disturbed. He desperately wanted longer, uninterrupted writing blocks, but made the best of the shorter sessions he was able to fit in. Tommy didn't understand why his father, a writer, wouldn't help him with his reading lessons. Linda devoted herself to Tommy's morning practice, but only having one parent there sent a message that Tommy couldn't forget. The sound of Dan's typewriter drifting down to the den was a constant reminder of Dan's priorities. How many fucking parents do you need to help you with your dumb kid writing book? And that's how the Kaplan's first month at the house on the cliff came to an end. I mean, how many... One parent's enough! Damn! Needy-ass kid! Dan sent what he had so far to Paul. It went badly. Dan knew the work wasn't very good, and Paul echoed that judgment. He promised to keep the news from Grovefield for the time being, but told Dan that without a major improvement in quality, the book might not be publishable. It's because I've never picked his thing first. I always pick his thing as the compromise, so it's half-ass. A few nights later, Dan and Linda got a babysitter and drove into town for a date. Dan surprised Linda by giving her a necklace he'd snuck into town to buy the day before, and Linda surprised him back when she gave him a watch she'd had eyes on. When they got home, they crept upstairs, made sure Tommy was asleep, and then made love like it was their wedding night again. See, their marriage is great, though, because I always pick Linda's thing. Poor Tommy, though. The next day, Dan made good on a promise to take Tommy into the woods and look for arrowheads, though he did it more out of a sense of obligation than any real enthusiasm. They barely made it to the woods before he told Tommy it was time to go back. Tommy started to cry, but Dan was unmoved. They came home without a single arrowhead. Oh no, I'm destroying this child's childhood. They still had 2 more months on the coast and their story was just beginning. You can always have a second kid once we've become, you know, successful in our art and writing careers and have a bunch of money. Then we'll do things right the next time. Then we'll do things right. Maybe the next kid won't have a disability. Vacation. It was summer. And summer was the time. Alright, wow.
Having fun? You bet.
You know what? We're going to take a break. We're going to take a break from the Novelist. It's about time to do some... It's about time to do some, hashtag I clicked a link. So, if you're watching the stream, don't go anywhere because I'm not done streaming. If you're watching on YouTube, this episode is now at an end. I thought I'd play through this entire thing in 1 episode, but looks like it'll probably be 2. This episode's now at an end. So thank you for watching. This has been Josiah Plays The Novelist.